What's up, guys? Coach John Wojo here with JW Fitness with another question for you. Hello, I have a few questions related to taking a rest week. My neighbor has been lifting for over 50 years and has given me guidance on a routine and a diet. I started this journey commitment a year ago. So this is a gentleman, I believe, so he's been lifting for a year now. His neighbor suggested to take a rest week every 8 weeks. I haven't been very good on doing that, though. I have been good about getting in the workouts. Question, do you take a week off at a scheduled time? If so, how often? Thanks in advance. All right, so what your neighbor is referring to is a deload week. So depending on how your training is structured and what your goals are, and all that stuff, because I don't know you or your exact experience or what routine you're actually following. But a week off, or it doesn't have to be a complete off week, but a scheduled deload is always a good idea. Meaning, if you're training correctly, if you're training hard enough, and you're consistent enough, so it's not like you have a bunch of unplanned days off just because you're not very committed or very consistent, or just your schedule is so crazy, maybe you're in the military, that it just will not allow you to hold to a very specific schedule. And therefore, you never really get into the groove long enough where you build up any substantial amount of fatigue that is going to require you to take a planned week off. The idea is that if you're training properly, you cannot just train really hard forever and just never take a break. If you're never taking a break, either your body is going to break down and you're going to get hurt, or you're going to burn out mentally, or you're just not training that hard. Because if you're able to go to the week and crush it 4 times a week, and then that's it, just do that forever and ever and ever, that's not going to happen. That's not how anybody who really trains hard trains. Everybody eventually has to take a planned deload. And what a deload is a planned reduction in training intensity and volume that allows you to more fully recover and resolve all of the accumulated fatigue from the previous weeks of training, to allow you to fully recover and adapt to all the stimulus that you've been presented with, so you can then begin your next cycle of training at a hopefully bigger and stronger version of yourself than you were at the beginning of the previous cycle of training. So that could be done any number of ways. It all depends. There's a lot of variables that affect it. What your goals are, how old you are, your training experience, whether you're male or female, how strong you are, how much weight you're actually handling. It all depends on how much stress you are able to create for your body to have to recover from. So I've mentioned before, I follow typically a 3 up, 1 down type of routine, or mesocycle. So 3 weeks of escalating intensity followed by a 1 week deload. That works for me. I've tried to push it out longer. I like to keep things on a 4-week basis. That's just the way I am. Other people are able to do 5 weeks up, 1 week down, so they take a deload every 6 weeks. A deload every 8 weeks, that would be more 7 weeks up, 1 week down. Sure, a lot of people might be able to do that. For me, that's really pushing it. So it all depends on you and your training experience. But your neighbor here who's been lifting for over 50 years is definitely giving you some good advice to give your body and your mind a break every 4, 6, or 8 weeks. Have a planned deload. Maybe do the same workouts you're currently doing. So you would still go into the gym and still do all the exercises that you would normally do during the course of that workout. But like generally speaking, maybe do 3/4 of the amount of sets that you would normally do, utilizing 50% to 75% of the load that you would normally use for those sets. You could structure your deload all different ways. People have all different ways of doing it. But something generally like that. Do 50% to 75% roughly the amount of sets at 50 to 75% roughly of the amount of weight that you would normally handle. So you're still, it's still going to be a load that you should still respect, but all things considered, it's very light it's lighter, a lot lighter than what you would normally handle, but you still have to put some thought into it. You still have to be warmed up. You still have to respect the weight. You're still going through the movements. You're still, and that's going to ultimately help your body recover more than just sitting on the couch twiddling your thumbs. And you're also maintaining for whatever it's worth, you're maintaining your level of skill that you have in performing those exercises. So that way, when you do come back from the deload, you are recovered and you feel great, but you don't feel like you've been away from the gym for so long. And like lifting up the heavy dumbbells feels really awkward and the machine feels awkward, right? So you're in there, you're maintaining that mind-muscle connection, you're maintaining your coordination and the skill level that you've developed performing all those different exercises. And that's just a great way, deloads are just a great way to recover and be ready for the next mesocycle. Guys, if you appreciate the content, like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you soon.